adjust this mic. That spags on the mic, and it was that high? That's a live mic, my bad. Good afternoon. Feels good here having this opportunity to talk to you guys, especially after a courageous, tough team win. I thought our coaching staff did a hell of a job of getting our players ready for that game. But the thing that stood out was the young players that we've been working with all season long. Just having those guys prepared to be at their best when their very best was needed due to all the injuries that took place. And like I said, I just thought it was a great team victory. But however, we got one more to go. So our guys are excited. The energy is where it needs to be. And we're just getting ready. The journey continues. With that said, I'm all ears.
Eric, what is the biggest challenge when you have 3 receivers?
The biggest challenge is making sure we can get lined up, okay? And I have to talk about this because this just goes to show you the growth of this kid. There was a moment in time throughout that game when we threw Sky in the game, and Sky had to play a number of positions. And I was talking to him about a particular play, and he yelled at me and said a few words to me. I'm not going to mumble those words, but it went something like, you just put me in. Just tell me the personnel, and I'm going to make it right. I said, fellas, we're going to be okay. So that was good to see. And the thing is, yes, our guys will be ready, and I'm talking about our players. Our guys are doing a heck of a job of preparing themselves. But we have a tremendous coaching staff who's very, very resilient. And we're going to utilize our best personnel to our advantage so we can go out there and be as effective and efficient as possible.
What about Marcus Kemp, too? He wasn't even elevated.
Well, Marcus Kemp has always been an outstanding professional football player for us. He's one of our top special teams player. Every time Kemp is on the field, he finds a way to make plays. And Kemp, that's why we keep Kemp in the building. Kemp is just first of all, he's a tremendous person, all right? Then on top of that, he's the ultimate professional. And then he brings a leadership to that room. I mean, he helped Sky throughout the course of the game, but then he just steps up, makes a catch here. He's getting lined up. He's making key critical blocks for us. So I'm not shocked or surprised, but that's we need to make sure that we give credit where credit is due. Joe Blameyer's done a hell of a job with those guys all season.
But you're ready to go against a defense that totaled 70 sacks on the regular season. What are some of the challenges for you as an offensive guy to try to slow down that pass rush?
I don't know if you slow him down. You just got to make sure that you find ways to keep the quarterback upright. But, it's going to be a challenge. And, those guys, they do a hell of a job. And, their second wave of guys who they have that coming in are very good. When we're still talking about Ndamukong Suh playing and still playing at a high level, that's very impressive. And so those guys have done an outstanding job all year long. But on top of that, we got 5 guys up front, that take a tremendous amount of pride in keeping our quarterback upright. So they understand the challenge. They know exactly what is expected of them. And this is just one of those games. It's going to be one in the paint. And so whoever's going to knuckle down for 60 consecutive minutes or more and making sure that we're straining the finish, if we're doing those little things, like I said, I like our chances. But is it going to be a challenge? Yes, it is.
Coach, how much has Isaiah grown as a pass protector, just with that in mind, and being able to be there?
Well, first of all, Coach Greg Lewis has done a great job of teaching him, getting him to understand and see the big picture. Because, at that position, you want the best football player that happens to be a hell of a running back playing in that position, especially in all the things that we're asking our guys to do. And so I'm proud of the way that he's stepped up. Greg has done a great job, but on top of that, Pacheco is just taking everything in. And he's gravitating towards the old lineman. He's understanding calls. I think also, too, Jerick McKinnon has done an outstanding job of helping him as well. We've got a good nucleus of guys in that room. And I know this name hasn't been mentioned in a while, but Clyde has done a great job of helping him. And that's the beauty about the team that we have. There is no particular person here that don't help in any way. All of our guys understand the importance of making sure that our guys know what to do. So if coaches are to the side, players are coaching each other up, making sure that they know exactly what's going on, because you never know when that player might be called upon, and we're going to need that player to be at their best. But he's done a great job.
Eric, what is it about when you face top defenses? You've had a lot of success. Basically, when you played San Francisco and then Buffalo, you had some success against them. What is it about when you're playing another team like the Eagles who have a top-ranked defense? What is it about you guys that just makes you elevate to the extra notch against those things?
Well, it's always about the challenge. And like I said, we know, like I said, 70-plus sacks, these guys are pretty damn good. You know, that's an offensive coordinator's nightmare. But the challenge is just making sure that we're being accountable to one another. And so it's our job as a coaching staff to make sure that we're putting our guys in the right position so they can be at their best. But on top of that, we're going to put ownership on our guys, making sure that they can go out there and effectively go out there and do what they need to do in order for us to get it done. So the accountability, guys understand their roles. They understand that, hey, when we're playing against the best, we have to be at our best. The extra film study has to take place. I always tell them before you leave the building, make sure your heart, mind, body, and soul, make sure you get everything answered, every question that you need addressed, or anything that you need done in the weight room or training room, just to make sure that you're giving yourself the best opportunity to be at your best on game day. So I think more than anything, our guys really understand the importance of just being accountable to one another.
Eric, Eric, Indy said yesterday that Pat came through the game pretty well. Obviously, you get the extra week, but obviously you're installing the game plan this week. I just wonder, do you feel like the full menu of the playbook is available to you based on how he came through last week's game, or are you still sort of trying to figure out what is obviously good and comfortable for him based on obviously his ankle?
I think it's a mix of both, but we want to make sure that everything that we're putting in, that we can bring it into next week's game. And so you guys know Pat. Pat's not going to shy away from anything. And it's our job more than anything to protect him from himself. And so our job is to make sure that we're putting together the right game plan that's going to help us to be at our best. But on top of that, making sure that we're looking out for Pat in the meantime. So we're not going to change anything. We know that Pat will be at his best when his best is needed. You guys know him. He's a competitor. He's not going to shy away from anything.
You've obviously done this week before, but how does this week compare to your preparation and what goes into next week for you?
Well, I mean, next week, well, first of all, this week is huge because we're treating this week just like we're playing a game on Sunday. So today is like a typical Thursday practice for us, a situational day, third down, short yardage, goal line. We're practicing situations, and tomorrow will be like a Friday practice where we do red zone and a review of everything. So we're treating it just like a typical game week as if we were playing on Sunday. And then next week, we hit the reset button. Now it's all about reviewing, making sure that our guys are on the same page. Now it ain't about us basically explaining to them. It's all about those guys making sure that they have a complete understanding of what we want to accomplish. Also understanding the schemes in which we're going to be facing, the coverages in which we're anticipating, the blitzes which we're anticipating seeing. So it's all about making sure that we get everything loaded up in their minds so they're prepared to play this Sunday. But then when we hit that reset button, now everything is just memorization. Hey, here's what I'm expecting. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it. This is what this guy is doing. So it gives us an additional week. All right. Thank you.